Environmental pollution is the effect of undesirable changes in our surroundings. So mainly we are going to learn about the pollution in the atmosphere, and this is called as the atmosphere. Fuels, when it is burnt with air, sulfur dioxide is formed. It's quite easy to form sulfur dioxide. Carbon monoxide is one of the most serious air pollutants, and these gases which increases the temperature, we call them as greenhouse gases. Hello my dear students, welcome back. Today I shall start with a new chapter, Environmental Chemistry. In this chapter we are going to study about our threats to the environment and the chemical aspects of the environment pollution. Okay, so first we have, what is the definition of environment? Environment means our surrounding, and the definition goes this way: the social, cultural and physical condition that surround, affect and influence the survival, growth and development of people, animals and plants are called as environment. So what is environment? Environment means it is social, cultural, physical condition that surround, affect and also influence the survival, growth and development of all animals, people as well as plants. We call it as environment. And what is environmental pollution? Environmental pollution is the effect of undesirable changes in our surrounding. So these are the harmful effects what is there. Okay, pollution is something which is having a harmful effect on our environment and our surrounding, and we are going to concentrate on what are different types of environmental pollution and the chemical aspects of that in this particular chapter. So first we need to know what is the meaning of pollutant. Okay, so a substance which causes pollution are called as pollutants, and they can be a solid, liquid or in the gaseous state. Any state it can be present. It can be a solid, liquid or a gas, but any substance which causes pollution are called as pollutants. Next we learn about what is atmosphere, and then we will go into the details of atmospheric or I can tell air pollution. Okay, so what is atmosphere? Earth's atmosphere is a thin layer of gases that is above the planet's surface. Okay, the atmosphere provides us what? Oxygen to breathe and shelters, or it prevents us or protects us from the UV radiations from the sun. Okay, and the Earth's atmosphere, if you see, first we have the Earth, 0 to 12 kilometers it is called as troposphere, and above that it is called as stratosphere. In between we have ozone layer, that is between 20 to 30 kilometers above the Earth's surface we have ozone layer, and after stratosphere we have mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. And the troposphere is the first environment which is there, or the first atmosphere which is there just after the Earth's surface, that is from 0 to 12 kilometers, and above that we call it as stratosphere, and in stratosphere we have ozone layer. So mainly we are going to learn about the pollution in the atmosphere, and this is called as the atmosphere. Okay, so first we have air or tropospheric pollution. Tropospheric pollution occurs due to the presence of undesirable solid or gaseous particles in the air, and these gaseous particles or the undesirable particles can be of two types, that is gaseous air pollutants and the particulate air pollutants. Gaseous air pollutants, the word itself tells what it is. It is all gases which is present. They are oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen sulfide, hydrocarbons, ozone and other oxidants. That is all gases which are there. It can be oxides of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon. It can be hydrocarbons. It can be ozone or any other gases which is having a harmful effect on our atmosphere. Okay. Now next is particulate pollutants, that is the dust, mist, fumes, smoke, smog, etc. Okay. So these are the main two types of pollutants. First we learn about the oxides of sulfur as the pollutant. The source of oxides of sulfur is burning of fossil fuels containing sulfur. So if you are burning any fuels which contain sulfur, we will get the basically two sulfur oxides of sulfur as pollutants, that is sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Okay. So here what are the effects that they have? Okay. That is, they cause respiratory diseases like asthma, bronchitis, emphysema in human beings. Also, sulfur dioxide causes irritation in the eyes, result in tears and redness. High concentration of sulfur dioxide leads to stiffness of the flower buds and eventually fall off from the plants. So, sulfur dioxide is not only affecting humans, it is also affecting the plants as well. And also, how exactly sulfur dioxide gets converted to sulfur trioxide? See, sulfur dioxide, what we have, first sulfur fuels, when it is burnt with air, sulfur dioxide is formed. It's quite easy to form sulfur dioxide, but formation of sulfur trioxide is a slow process because it requires some catalyst, and the pollutants which is there only can catalyze this reaction. Thus, sulfur dioxide with more oxygen, it can form sulfur trioxide, which is also the oxides of sulfur, and it is a pollutant, of course, to balance the equation. Okay. So just sulfur trioxide is formed. Now sulfur dioxide, if it is there, other than these harmful effects, there are some more harmful effects of sulfur dioxide. That is, it can mix with water during rainy season to form sulfuric acid, and this is one of the causes for acid rain. Okay. Also, sulfur dioxide is one of the reasons for reacting with ozone to form sulfur trioxide and oxygen gas, and ozone can also start getting depleted. Okay. So these are some of the oxides of sulfur and its effects. Next we have oxides of nitrogen as pollutants. The first sources we'll see, at high altitudes when lightning strikes, dinitrogen and dioxygen combine to form oxides of nitrogen. So when there is lightning, we know that nitrogen gas is not a very reactive gas, but then oxides of nitrogen are very, very harmful. So how exactly oxides of nitrogen are formed when nitrogen gas only is not so reactive? That is, during lightning what happens is, there's amount of energy it gets, and thus nitrogen will react with oxygen to form nitric oxide. And the reaction is like this: nitrogen plus oxygen can form nitric oxide, which is one of the oxides of nitrogen which is very harmful. Burning of fossil fuels in automobile engines at high temperature, nitrogen and oxygen combine to yield significant amount of nitric oxide as well as nitrogen dioxide, which are the main pollutants or the main oxides of nitrogen which acts as the pollutants. What are its effects? We'll see. They damage the leaves of the plants as well as they retard the rate of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis reduces, also they damage the leaves of the plants. And also nitrogen dioxide is a lung irritant that can lead to acute respiratory diseases, and also it can also lead to asthma, and it is toxic to living tissues. Also, nitrogen dioxide is harmful for various textile fibers as well as the metals. Okay. And nitrogen dioxide again can react with water to form nitric acid, and it is again leading to acid rain. Also, nitric oxide can react with ozone to form nitrogen dioxide and also can be the leading cause for the depletion of ozone. Okay. So these are about the oxides of nitrogen. Next is about oxides of carbon. There are two oxides of carbon which is very harmful, that is carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. First we are going to learn about carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is one of the most serious air pollutants. Why exactly it is most serious air pollutant? Because carbon monoxide is very toxic or it is poisonous for any human being. Why exactly it is so? See, carbon monoxide has a tendency to get attached to hemoglobin in blood. And we know that hemoglobin is the one which is carrying oxygen to all the tissues or the cells in our body. So what happens is when oxygen is binded to hemoglobin, there is an exchange which can occur where hemoglobin takes the oxygen from the lungs and it will go into the tissues or the cells and it will give away oxygen and take up carbon dioxide, and then carbon dioxide we can breathe out. So this is the normal process which is happening. But if there is carbon monoxide in the air what we breathe, it will ultimately reach the hemoglobin, and when carbon monoxide can get attached to hemoglobin to form carboxyhemoglobin, and the bond between the carbon monoxide and hemoglobin is very strong. So once the carbon monoxide is attached to hemoglobin, it is very difficult to remove carbon monoxide and then add carbon dioxide. So the normal respiration process will not happen and our cells in the body will be deficient of oxygen, and thus all the other problems, that is mental retardedness, dizziness, or muscular weakness. And also if carbon monoxide in the air or in the blood is more in pregnant women, it can also lead to premature birth, or it can also lead to the impaired growth of the fetus, or it can also lead to abortion. And if the carbon monoxide levels in the blood is very high or it is going on increasing, it can also lead to death. That's why we call carbon monoxide as the most serious pollutant, and it is a colorless and odorless gas, highly poisonous to living beings because of its ability to block what? Delivery of oxygen to organs and the tissues. Okay, and also I've explained the entire mechanism. Okay, next it is produced as a result of what? Incomplete combustion of carbon, and also carbon monoxide is released by automobile exhaust, and other source are by incomplete combustion of coal, firewood, petrol, etc. Totally it is because of the incomplete combustion of the fuels that you get carbon monoxide, and automobiles also has carbon monoxide in its exhaust. Okay, so that's about carbon monoxide. Next is about carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere by what? Respiration, burning of fossil fuels of energy, and by decomposition of limestone during manufacture of cement. So these are the major sources of carbon dioxide. It's also emitted during volcanic eruptions, and carbon dioxide gas is confined to troposphere only. That is, it doesn't go to the stratosphere, it is there only in the troposphere. Carbon dioxide, when it is increased, or the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing in our air or the atmosphere, it leads to global warming, and it is one of the major causes for global warming, that is the increase in temperature of the earth. Okay, so more about global warming and greenhouse effect I'll be talking in the further class. Okay, so that's about the oxides of carbon. Next we have hydrocarbons as pollutants. So source is incomplete combustion of fuels used in automobiles, and harmful effects are hydrocarbons are carcinogenic, that is they are the substances which can cause cancer and they are called as carcinogenic, and also they harm plants by causing aging, breakdown of tissues, shedding of leaves, flowering and twigs. Okay, so they have a lot of effect on the plants as well as for humans. All the hydrocarbons are carcinogenic, which can cause cancer. So we have to be very careful with such pollutants as well. Next is about global warming. What exactly is the meaning of global warming? It is defined as natural or human induced increase in temperature of the atmosphere on the Earth's surface, and about 75% of the solar energy reaches the Earth, and this amount of energy is not required. So whatever is there, is absorbed, increases the temperature of the Earth's surface. The remaining heat, whatever is there, it is radiated back to the atmosphere. But some of the heat is trapped by the gases like carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, CFCs, water vapor, etc. And this increases the overall temperature of the atmosphere in the Earth's surface. And this is called as global warming. So what is it? There is solar energy which is absorbed by the gases in the Earth's surface. Extra whatever energy is there, it is radiated back to the atmosphere. But if there are these gases, content is increased in the Earth's surface, then the overall temperature of the Earth's surface can increase. That's called as global warming. What are the harmful effects of global warming? We can tell, because the temperature has increased, the glaciers can start melting, and the water, whatever is melting there, the ice, whatever is melting there, and it comes down to form water. And because of this, the sea level can increase. We know that in the Earth's surface, we have 75% of water and only small amount of land. Again, if the sea level is increasing, the amount of land which is there again goes on decreasing, isn't it? So this is one of the major effects of global warming. Also, as the temperature of the atmosphere increases, due to which there is an increase in growth of some of the microorganisms or pathogens which can cause diseases. The moisture level in the soil or in the land can go on decreasing, which can also lead to the problems with plants and their growth. Okay, and also some of the plants and animals may not survive at a higher temperature at all, which can lead to extinction of some of the plants and animals. So overall, when the temperature rise is there is lot of effects which we can see. That is the effects of global warming. Next, we have the greenhouse effect. As I told you, global warming, the greenhouse effect is the effect which leads to global warming. Okay, so what happens is, the sun's energy, whatever is there, the radiation of the sun which is traveling towards the earth, and in the earth we have all these gases like carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, CFCs, etc., or water vapor, and these gases trap the energy, or that is heat energy from the sun, and increases the temperature of the earth's surface, and this effect is called as greenhouse effect. Okay, and these gases which increases the temperature, we call them as greenhouse gases, and the overall, the entire earth's surface temperature is increasing, and that is called as global warming. Okay, so here you can see the radiation of the sun travels towards the earth. Half is reflected or absorbed by the clouds and the atmosphere. Then you can see the rest reaches the earth, where it is absorbed by ocean and land. Some of the heat is released back to the space. Another part of the heat passes directly through the atmosphere. It is radiated back. Most of it is captured and retained by greenhouse gases, which leads to greenhouse effect. So what happens when the energy from the sun falls on the earth? Most of it is absorbed by some of it is absorbed by the clouds. Most of it is absorbed by the land and the oceans. Some of it which is not required is, released back to the space. Another part is passed, keeps the environment warm, which makes us comfortable to live in. And also, if the number of greenhouses or the amount of greenhouses gases is more, then the heat energy is trapped and it leads to greenhouse effect. So this is greenhouse effect. I hope you have understood what is greenhouse effect and what is global warming very clearly. Next class, we'll be learning about acid rain, smog, and about the ozone hole formation. So I hope you have understood today's class. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.